Hello, 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 hello. How are you? I hope that you are all doing well. How are you doing today? For those that don't know, my name is Beth, or Queen of Spade, and today we are going to actually be talking about a cash for gold scam that went terribly, terribly wrong. Phone, why do you hate me? Hello, Johnny. Hello, White Tupac. How are you? I hope you're all doing well. So, this is kind of a crazy story, but I felt the need to share it because it's a little bit crazy. And so this man wants to spread awareness on this also. So, of course, I want to share it. So, I just want to get right into the article. We had a little bit of fun here, of course. If you don't know, I am a huge South Park fan. And when I first started my channel, I was actually doing a lot of cartoons, and I definitely use Karen from South Park a lot because I make fun of Karens a lot. So this is actually about a man in Calgary, which, if you don't know, is a province here in Canada. And he's raising awareness after near abduction from a cash for gold scam. Okay. So there's a cash for gold scam that's apparently trying to abduct people right now. Little scary. So, sorry. So this news actually broke out last week, and it happened last Wednesday. So happy hump day again. But Wednesday morning started out like any other day to Calgarian Nathan McGee, who was enjoying a cup of coffee and a walk with a local friend near his home. So this dude wakes up, he's like, calls up his buddy, he's like, all right, let's go grab a coffee. His friend's like, okay. And they're on their way, they're having their coffee and walking around. Everything seemed relatively normal until he noticed a woman in distress in the New Brighton Strip Mall's parking lot. So most men, they kind of get into hero mode. They're like, oh, look, a woman in distress. What can I do to help? He said she looked disoriented, so he called 911. Then all of a sudden, just like out of nowhere, a black SUV, tinted out windows, pulled up with two masked up people inside, which I know nowadays when you say masked up, it doesn't sound as scary because we're all going out in our masks. But this was like full on masked up, like a robber would be. And they just began asking him about selling gold. So, imagine you see a woman in distress, you and your buddy just out getting a coffee, and then literally you're like, I'm doing good, thank you, Tupac. Then literally you're just like, okay, there's this woman in distress. So you like call 911 like most people would do if they saw someone in distress. Thankfully, he called 911. I don't know if they thought, like the scammers thought that part through, because I think most of us out here would call 911. I would hope, if we saw a woman in distress, like in a random parking lot, But then all of a sudden this black SUV pulls up and these masked people come out, and then what they do, because I'm sure you think you're going to get kidnapped, right? Like, what the fuck's going on? Is they just start asking you about selling gold. I think I would kind of laugh a little bit at first. Like, I don't know how I would react to that. I would be like, what are you doing? Why are we here? What just happened? It was just, it's interesting. So he knew that it was a scam immediately. Thankfully, again, I am doing this video in hopes that people out there will understand to be careful of this. Because like I said, if you're walking around and then you see a woman in distress in a parking lot, you probably are going to go try and help. You might go ask her if she's okay and then call 911, hopefully. Right now, always call 911. And like he did, keep them on the phone. So he played along and he tried on a gold ring that was handed to him by a woman inside the SUV. He went to give her back the ring, and as he was handing back the ring, she grabs a hold of both of his wrists and starts trying to pull him into the van. And he says it was just complete chaos, which it would be, because now you're like, what the fuck? Now you're trying to abduct me. So as they were pulling him in, the back window came down and he thinks he's dead, like most of us probably would. I was just waiting for a gun to come down and I was scared, he says. He managed to escape, but says the people inside the SUV were still following him as he walked along the sidewalk. They were yelling and screaming at me for something and shouting at me for money, he said. Within minutes, 4 police cruisers showed up to arrest the individuals, which, I mean, I know it would have been really scary for him walking down the road and having them following him and shouting at him. But at the same time, it was a good thing that they did, because then as soon as the police showed up, like, there they are. So, I mean, that made it easier for the police when they showed up to be like, oh, look, here they are. They didn't have to go off looking for the SUV. It was following him. So he said that there was a little girl in the back seat of the SUV, which prompted him to be worried for her safety. Which, yeah, the heck is a little girl doing in the back of an SUV that's going around trying to abduct people with gold rings? I've had a wild couple of years, but this is the icing on the cake for 2021, he says. Yeah, I'd say, you know, like, that's crazy. So this is a new scam that is going on where they actually... One second. Where they are actually like pretending to be in distress and then they try to kidnap you. So right now, if you do see a woman in distress, because this is also in the States, this is apparently going on everywhere. It's just this story specifically is from Calgary. So if you do see a woman in distress, please call 911 and keep your distance. Be careful, because it sounds like she waited for him to walk up, obviously, and kind of start talking to her. And then all of a sudden the van pulls up. That way you're like more cornered. You're like in between her and her distressed car and then the SUV trying to kidnap you. We're lucky that he got away. But now this is actually a thing. It's called distraction thefts. And apparently it's been going on for some time now. It's something that they've been doing for a really, really long time. Hello, Jenna. Nice to see you. Sorry, my phone is the best way for me to see comments. So I keep like looking down. That's what I'm doing. So since March 1st, investigators have received reports of 10 Calgarians, so people in Calgary, being victimized by scams that often occur in a public setting, such as gas stations, where offenders ask for money or offer gold or jewelry in exchange for money. So this scam is pretty much they show up after pretending to have a woman in distress, and you, being a kind citizen that you are, go out to help. And then it appears that they want to trade you the gold for the money. And if you say no to it, then they will kidnap you and I'm assuming rob you, because I don't know why else they would kidnap you. I mean, that's a really scary thought. I don't even want to go there. But that's what appears to be happening with this specific one, is that. And apparently another way they do it is at gas stations. You know, that would be in the parking lot of a mall or just random on the side of the road even, I'm sure. Like, just don't stop to help women on the side of the road right now either. I know that sounds mean, but Lord, this cannot happen to people. That's like, this is insane. So I guess at gas stations, they ask for money or offer gold. So I'm assuming that they would then have a woman in distress who pretends that she like doesn't have the money to pay for her gas. So again, be careful of that if you're ever pumping your gas and a woman comes up to you literally and is like, hey, I'm in distress or I need money to pay. Like, you know, I guess Johnny says also, I guess all that glitters isn't gold, it's abductions. Yes, like I don't know why they would try to abduct you other than to rob you in the van. I don't want to know what happens when you do get taken into the van. This guy luckily got away. It sounds like most of these people got away. Like I haven't found any reports of people going missing. Mind you, maybe we just don't know yet. I'm just putting it out there. Like, apparently this has been going on since, like for several months now, since about mid last year, where it's been kind of popping up where these kind of scams are going. And that's why they've actually called them distraction thefts. And they've seen like this huge rise in them, especially in 2021. Unfortunately, I'm sure due to, well, actually, we know that due to the pandemic, scams have risen a lot. Oh, where? I don't see it. Oh, I don't know how to. It's in the person's name. Okay. One sec. I don't know how to. There, is it gone? Yeah, Johnny. Yeah, it's in the name. Okay. That's not cool, guys. Don't do that shit here. I've only ever doxed one person in my life, and it was after they doxed me every single day for a year and everybody I knew. Oh, Sue. And it was just his name. And he cried like a bitch. I'm just saying. But don't come in here with your stupid doxing shit. Yeah, Johnny, if that person comes back, then just remove them. Because I'm not dealing with that shit today at all. No drama over here right now. So, yeah, what was I saying? Basically, they're abducting people, so just be really careful. I'm assuming that the gas station one is a woman pretending that she needs money. So again, do not stop and try to help people, I guess, right now. Be very careful of this because, yeah, there has been, according to Alert, which is the Alberta Law Enforcement Response Team, there were 84 reports of this in Alberta, with losses reported to be just over $20,000. So they have stolen $20,000 from people right now, because that's a little bit ridiculous. Queen, where is this happening at? Or I was doxxed every day? Oh, I was doxxed like every day on Suit Yourself's channel and subreddits. It was fun. And then, you know, they streamed my daughter on her birthday. And that's okay, but you can't repost pictures of people and their kids, apparently, which makes no sense to me. You can stream on their birthdays and you can make fun of their looks and you can do things like that, but then don't repost pictures that people post publicly online, guys. That's bad. So 84 reports of this, $20,000. So A lot of people are losing a lot of money, and 12 reports involving jewelry were also reported with losses of under $20,000. So we're at about $40,000 out west being taken for this scam. Where is this happening? Oh, the scam stuff is happening in Calgary, Alberta, but it's also happening in the USA, I hear. I hear that this distraction thing is happening everywhere. It's just that this one, Alberta, is the province. It's just that this one is specifically being reported out there because of this huge increase out there with it. And this man that almost got abducted and then decided to speak out against the scam to kind of help spread awareness to let everyone know. And like I said, I've heard of this happening everywhere. This is just in one province, and it's also happening in the US. Apparently, the distraction theft thing is kind of like the new way of robbing people, if you will, because people out there are kind, and if they see somebody in distress, then they'll try to help. And I guess it also would be kind of shocking to be there trying to help someone and then have someone like pull up and rob you. What a night and day that would be. So I think it would just also surprise you and catch you off guard a little bit more, because usually when they do things like that, they want to catch you off guard. So yeah. CPS staff Sergeant Jeremy Whitman says sometimes offenders will initiate physical contact with victims, discreetly steal or swap items. So yeah, several years ago, you guys probably heard about this, especially if you're someone that pays attention to any kind of like scam stuff or the news at all. Several years ago, not that long ago, but just like 3-4 years ago, there was this huge thing going on with the credit card and bank card scam. And what that was people came up with this device that all they had to do was like bump into you, and they could scan your wallet basically and get your bank card number. And there was like so many people being taken by this, because a lot of times you didn't even know it happened to you until you're like at home checking your bank account, or you go to make a purchase and your card declines and you know you have money in there, and then all of a sudden like all your money got taken. And of course they spread awareness, and those seem to have died down. Yeah, so that stuff has seemed to like die down, and we're not hearing as much about that. And as soon as that kind of died down, the online crimes kind of like skyrocketed again. But then this stuff started to show up, and there's been like different kinds of distraction thefts. I just haven't heard of ones where they actually tried to abduct you. I've heard of course, someone pretending to be in distress, someone going to help, and then people will come up behind and steal your wallet. That kind of thing happens all the time. That is like the distraction thefts that I'm aware of. But then this happened, and I was like, now we're straight up abducting people with this. That's new. That's a new thing that, again, we've just kind of been hearing about that, especially this year, which is fucking weird. Because it's almost like these scams, when they start, they almost get worse and worse and worse and worse the longer that the people get away with them for, right? And something like this, unfortunately, sometimes it takes several people being victimized of it before they kind of clue in, especially if it's happening in different cities, different provinces, different areas. You know what I mean? So like, Canada's kind of like the US, where we also have the districts for police and things like that. So oftentimes the scammers will go from like district to district to district. So it will be all different police forces, and it takes like 20 people being robbed before they realize it's an actual full-on scam and not just some random weird robberies, if that makes sense. So again, that's kind of what happened with this. You know, when this started happening, they were kind of like, this is weird scam going on. But then, of course, once the same thing happens over and over and over again, they go, oh crap, this is an actual whole thing. And we need to now treat this as an actual like scam ring, I guess you could call it, because a lot of times, even in Canada, they just connected some Canadians to running one of the CRA scams. We're going to be talking about that soon, so I don't want to say too much about it right now. But, you know, us Canadians, we scam too. So, yeah, that's like kind of what that is. So they know that the scam of kind of like having someone be in distress and then having someone come up and like steal your wallet or like swap out your items. Cause I guess they've also done it with like grocery bags and things. Like someone goes shopping and then they'll take the stuff out of their bag and like replace it with a rock. Like, you know, little like things like that. That's happened. But now we're abducting people. And yeah, so again, be careful. If people like bump into you when you're walking around too, just double check your stuff. Always. The people that are approaching victims look like normal people, but again, it's never normal to buy high value jewelry in exchange for cash from someone you don't know or in the middle of the street or from a black van. You know, that's just, we don't want that. I remember, Johnny says, I remember a few years ago, they were slipping these super thin chips inside gas pumps, and these chips would scan the, yes, RFID chips of your card and steal your info. Yep. Yeah, copy the data. See, that was the thing that they were using when they were bumping into people, was the RFID scanner. That's what that was. They like made it into an actual device, right? And then they would just basically bump into someone on the street and it would just scan their whole credit card. So again, if you're walking down the street or you're at a gas station or you're in like the mall parking lot and someone kind of comes up to you and says, hey, I want to trade you this for gold because I need money, don't do it. Don't do it. Because yeah, it's not like scammers have a big sign on their head that says, hello, I'm a scammer. You know, that doesn't happen. They look like absolutely normal people. So that's the problem. Whitman adds that it's common for offenders, for some reason I said that wrong, to travel in rental vehicles as a way to conceal their identity. The investigations into the incidents are ongoing at this time, and there is no word of any crimes that are connected to it, like outside of. Which is why I also say it's there again. Hold on. Can I like... Sorry. That's what happens when we're like all trying to hide someone at the same time. Yeah, protector wallet. Yes, there are wallets that you can get that can stop that from happening to you. And I highly recommend that, especially if you're traveling. I'm just saying, apparently one of their favorite places to do that scam is at airports. Obviously, very high traffic at airports, so they can get a lot of people at airports. So I always tell people if they're traveling, especially to take things like that with them to protect themselves. Because that would suck, especially if you were traveling and had all your stuff stolen. That's just an awful situation that no one wants to be in. But eventually what I'm hoping happens, since they use the rental cars, is I'm hoping that they'll be able to find out a pattern with the rental vehicles or something. Because usually when you rent a vehicle, you have to give your identification. So that would probably be the best way for them to find this group of people, because it's obviously a group. There's obviously a few of them involved, because we have the woman in distress. We apparently have a woman in a van that passes out the rings and jewelry. We would have then, of course, the men in the masks, which it sounded like there were 2 of them. And apparently a child, which is worrisome. Don't know what that's about, especially when somebody is out here abducting people. I don't want Colton's address. Can we just put that out into the world that I do not want Colton's address? It does me no good to have Colton's address. Even if I don't like Colton, I don't need his address. I'm never going to go visit Colton. I have no reason to have his address. And when Colton's address shows up here, I gotta like wonder about some people out here. You know, I'm like, what are you doing? Trying to dox people that I wouldn't even dox in my stream. Just saying. Don't do that. Just have to put it out there. I don't need it. So you can stop like making 100 accounts in it. It just makes you look bad. Not me. I don't want it. Thank you. So let's talk about how we protect ourselves from this scam. Always question if an item offered for sale is real. That means everywhere. I would hope that if you are buying gold out here, even from a jeweler's, that you would ask them to look into it for you first. Prove to you it is real. Sometimes even the jewelers lie. I'm just saying. That's also a whole scam. We'll get into that one someday. So basically, that's the best thing you can do. And like I said, also, if they're trying to sell it to you in the gas station parking lot, that's probably not legit, right? Like, you got to kind of be like, yeah, this doesn't feel right. Not feeling pressured to say yes. Again, in any situation, if anyone is ever pressuring you to say yes to something, don't ever say yes just because you feel pressured. Ever, ever, ever. And I say that because I also make a lot of multi-level marketing content. We talk a lot about the Huns on here. And that's always a really big theme with that, is that they put mad pressure on people to say yes to buying the products. They bug that crap out of people, you know? And so it's always a message on my channel that if people are pressuring you into a sale or into anything, say no. Get out of that situation. Don't even stay there for a moment. Cut off the conversation if you have to. Keeping physical distance and never allowing unknown people into your home. Don't ever do that. Don't allow people near your car. So, you know, if someone ever pretends to be in distress and asks you for a ride, I could just see that going over awful as well. So just don't bring them near your car. And again, if you do see someone in distress, I'm guessing it probably looks a little bit crazy because he was like, the girl looked really disoriented. So I'm sure she's acting up. So if you see that, immediately just call the police, have them on the phone. That's what also saved this guy, because if they had have abducted him, he had 911 on the phone. They heard that and they sent the cops. Like I said, luckily he got out. He was walking away when the cops came and got the van. But, you know, if he hadn't gotten out, the cops would have still, hopefully, before anyone got hurt, gotten there. So I think it's the best if you just call the cops if you see anyone ever, you know, in that situation where they seem to be in distress and needing help. Now, this is kind of bizarre too. I had to also put this out there because Elizabeth, and I'm going to butcher this. I always butcher the names. Hineo, I'm hoping, the manager of Calgary Smart Gold Shop. So this is like someone that actually works at one of the shops you would go to buy or sell gold, like the gold trading places. See, here we actually have a cash for gold place. Like, it's actually called Cash for Gold. So more and more Calgarians, people from Calgary, are coming to her store looking to sell fake items. So that's another thing to look out for. You have to be alert with this type of situation because it's getting worse and worse all the time, she said. People think it's real gold when they come here, but the result is that it's fake and they're getting scammed, she says. It's happening at least once or up to 3 times every week, which is a fucking lot. That's a lot. She says it's becoming more common with the pandemic, as people are obviously probably in more need of money, but her shop ensures that items are in fact genuine by using magnets and special machines to determine their exact elements. And that's why I said, even if you go to a jewelry shop, like, ask them to use those and show you before you buy the jewelry. There have been some horror stories out there of even the jewelry shops selling some fake jewelry. So it's just best to be safe. Consumers should never buy gold from the streets. Don't buy from the streets, y'all. And should instead buy from licensed jewelry stores. And like I said, a licensed jewelry store will have no problem with you being like, and can you just show me? They all have all those same things. They'll show you. They'll show you. The Better Business Bureau agrees that it is up to the consumer to educate themselves on what they own or are planning to purchase. Always research. The best way to not get scammed is to research the product that you want and then go out and get it, even if it's jewelry from a jewelry store. Just, especially don't buy it on the street, like I said. Don't buy from the streets, y'all. The person that you are selling your gold to should be very transparent and should provide exactly that weight. And they will show you on the scale. Usually they do it right in front of you. So if they're not doing that, question it. Be like, oh, actually, I changed my mind, and take your shit back because they're about to rob your ass. So also, there should be some sort of record, and it's important for the consumer to know the price of gold, so they should have some expectation. You can do that by paying attention to the gold stocks. La Fortune adds that consumers should get items appraised multiple times, find out if other fees are involved, and consider insurance when dealing with reimbursement policies should an item get lost. And here is a picture of this. So they caught these people, but it's still going on. There's been more. So apparently we have like an entire ring of people out here. An entire ring of people out here that have been basically doing this cash for gold scam. Now, there was a part in this too that I wanted to. Oh, yes, here. Hold on. Okay, yes. So here it says that they are talking about the distraction thefts that are going on in Calgary, but everywhere else, where they approach victims in public settings and appeal to their good nature to help them out in a bind. Police say 10 such situations were reported to them since the beginning of March. So in most of the incidents, the victims are asked for money, for gas, or some other purchase. They say they lost their credit cards or their bank card, and they offer gold or jewelry, and then that gold and jewelry is fake. So those who do end up purchasing it, because apparently people have been purchasing it, which is why I'm doing this video. Do not do that. And then it's obviously fake jewelry, and then they go and they take it to the lady at the gold shop, and she says, no, sweetie, sorry, this is fake. So yeah, apparently they are getting a lot more physical, as it says, and it has even been occurring in residential neighborhoods. Now, this is why they say not to have people come at your door, because this is why I wanted to look this up, okay? Because when we were reading the other one, they were all like, be wary of people coming to your door. And I was like, wait, I thought this scam happened in parking lots and gas stations. What do you mean? Then I found this and I was like, oh. So in one case, an offender knocked on the door to a victim's residence and asked to use the washroom. Once inside, the offender stole valuables from a nearby bedroom. So now we are even having people coming to people's doors of their house, knocking. Hi, can I please use your bathroom? And maybe you're a good person. Do you have a nice bathroom? You're like, sure, go ahead. I would never let a stranger use my bathroom. I'm just saying, I'm a little picky on that. I don't even use the public restroom, but I mean, you do you. You let them in, and then they go steal your jewelry out of your bedroom. Not good. Police say the scam is common, particularly around this time of year when more people are taking advantage of the warmer weather to travel. Okay, and they don't know if all of this is connected. So like I said, it appears that we have like all these different, they're all happening in Calgary. All of this seems to be happening very much in Calgary. And then it appears, hello, Freddie. Yeah, see, why would you let a random stranger use your bathrooms? I know, I'm the same way. I would be like, no, sorry, that doesn't work right now. And then close the door on them. But maybe I'm just a bitch. Apparently people have let people in to use their bathroom when they come and just like, no, go use the tree, Joseph says, right? Like, so that's creepy though, that someone would come, knock on your door, pretend to go to the bathroom, and then steal your stuff. And here's the thing. If you are going to let someone go to the bathroom, I do have to say, please do follow them through your house. Don't just be like, oh, it's upstairs. That's a major issue. That is what would fix this situation. You know what I mean? If you like followed them. I know it may seem weird. I'm sure they're going to be like, sis, why are you following me to the bathroom? But, you know, yeah, see, I remember people knocking on my parents' door too, asking to use the phone. And my parents used to let them, but our phone was like right by the freaking door. And my parents would like stand there the whole time while they made their call. And also, we were in the country and people did actually break down sometimes out there. So like we would see their car like broken down. We'd probably notice them a little while before they came and knocked on the door, and we'd be like, is this person okay? And then eventually they'd like come knock on the door. So that was a little bit different. But today, I really don't think that anyone should even let people in to use the phone because everybody has cell phones now. So yeah, if someone's coming to say, I need to use your phone, be like, sis, what happened to your phone? You're not using my phone. I'm sorry. I can't let you. Just because they're going to come and steal all of your valuables from a nearby bedroom. And we don't want that. So, yeah, obviously it's people that have good nature about them. Unfortunately, the people that are the best type of people in the world tend to be the ones that are taken advantage of the most. That's just the way of the world. I'm a bitch, so I'm okay. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Always keep your distance and contact police if you feel unsafe in any situation. Always contact police. It also says, let's see, did they add anything to the last bit of tips that we looked at? Make sure you maintain a proper physical distance. Report all incidents to the police non-emergency line to help track the movements of criminals and help the CPS make an arrest. So if you do happen to have someone try to pull this on you, even if they're not successful, please do take note of like what they look like, what they're driving, maybe even try to get their license plate if you manage to get a vehicle from them, and then call it in and say, listen, I was just in a parking lot. There's this girl in distress. I kept my distance. Like I didn't go near. But I heard about these distraction thefts. You might want to go check it out. Because here's the thing. If it's a woman that's in distress and you tell the cops to go check it out, then you are just helping the woman, right? And if it's the scam, then you stop the scam from happening. It's a win-win no matter what when you call the police in this situation. It really is. Yes, and answering the phone, that's another one. We talk about the phone scams a lot. My last stream was actually about the phone scams. If you want to check that out, it was on Saturday. I do a stream every Saturday afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern where we talk about scams. This one I was going to say for Saturday, but it was so crazy that I didn't want to wait more than a week of knowing that this was going on. And I don't like to just find out information and then just pop off on a stream and be like, hey, this is what's up right now, guys, because I like to actually research it a little bit. I really do. I like to look into it. I like to see like how many people have been taken for it. I like to know a little bit more about it. Like I said, I like to kind of see if things are connected, because I was like, oh, are these connected to the other distraction scams? And so it does appear that we're having this happen all over Calgary, Alberta. And like I said, I've heard of it happening in other places too. I know it has been a thing in the US as well. They're having an issue with it as well right now. It's like the new scam. So be very careful of this, and just know that when you see somebody out there who is like in distress, not to go and help them. Joseph, why couldn't it be like Massachusetts, man? Detroit doesn't help me. Damn it, Joseph. Right on the street, right? Hands. I have no clue what's going on in my chat right now. We're talking about hands. Now we're talking about cannibalism. That is where my chat went today. But yes, and I wanted to kind of like see all these different ones, because it appears that in Calgary, I can't say this for sure, but it appears that we have some kind of like crime ring going on, which, by the way, isn't that weird for Calgary? Again, just throwing it out there, where they're using these distraction thefts to rob people, because I feel like it's really weird to have it happening all in one area and have them not be connected when there's so many going on. So that's my thoughts. I think it will be fun to kind of watch this unravel, and I am definitely going to be keeping up with this, and I want to see these people get charged, because now that those ones were caught, right, they're going to go to trial. They'll get charged for these crimes. So I'm going to be keeping up with that. I'll probably cover that on a stream or in a video where we'll talk about what happened to them, because my guess is that they're going to get charged with abduction or attempted abduction, and then obviously attempted theft. We don't know if, when the cops started searching their van, if they found like fake gold in there, what else they found. So I kind of want to know where this is going to go. There hasn't been much information out about it, as it just happened like a week ago. But again, I think it is connected. Do you guys think that this is connected? Thank you. I also do some r/ and pseudoscience stuff if you want to check that out. I talk about flat earth and the anti-vax community a lot. So that's fun. I know Joseph likes to send me flat earth stuff and torture me every day with it. And then I had the flat earthers. I posted a flat, I posted a meme on my Instagram, okay, that was making fun of flat earthers. Like, that's what it was. It was a meme making fun of them. And then they were like, oh, she's a flat earther. So then they came to like christen me into their club, if you will. And I had like 3 or 4 of them. They were like ones that were like up in this society, like very much into the flat earth shit, that just like took to me. And then all of a sudden my Instagram DMs were just filled with a bunch of flat earthers congratulating me on seeing the light, that the earth is flat, and telling me that like all the proof of it, like sending it to me like, oh yeah, now you'll like to check this out. Now you'll like to check this out. And I'm sitting there like, oh yes, I will. Send it all down. Give me content for weeks. Let's go. But it was just really, really weird. I was like, do they know? Like, because they were really setting them to be like, they were excited that I had become a flat earther, not like they were trying to debunk it at first. But then, of course, I ended up responding because the one guy spent, I'm not even joking, this guy spent like a full 48 hours sending me stuff. Like he was sending me something every like 20 minutes for like 48 hours about how the earth was flat. I was like, yo, this guy's just lost his mind. What is happening? So yeah, they did, Freddie. That's what they did. They were like, welcome to our flat earth club. Here is all the information that you need to learn in order to see the light even more here. And then they literally spent that's what I felt like they were doing too. Like they'd be like, oh, this is the good evidence. Let's send her that. She'll be so happy. And I was like, you're not going to like me in like a month after I make videos out of all this. Just saying. And then they got really mad at me. And then we got into an argument. And I was like, but I appreciate you sending me all this. That was fun. And they were like, you'll see the light. You'll see the light. And I was like, I'm pretty sure you're the ones in the dark, but okay. That'll be fun. So I'm doing some more of those coming up as well because sad note. I mean, at least I would try to prove it with more than they do, I guess. That would actually, I should do a video where I parody as a flat earther and I prove obviously the earth flat, but with using actual like science, but it wouldn't like, do you know what I mean? You can't prove that with real science because it's not a thing, but like better pseudoscience that they use, I guess, or something. That would be funny to me. I would have fun with that. No, but I noticed that they have like these certain videos that you're supposed to watch when you join their club, apparently. Like several of them sent me like like 3 or 4 of the exact same videos, and they were the first ones they sent me. And I was like, do you guys have like a list of them? And like every time you think someone turns into a flat earther, you're like, all right, I'll send her this. Because that's what I felt like they were doing. So I want to do some more on that. That's just future plans. But you use half a brain doing. Well, see, that's the thing is that whenever I'm watching a lot of these pseudoscience, and I don't even mean just flat earthers, like I mean people trying to prove ghosts, people like all this kind of stuff, I'm always kind of like, this is not real science, but okay, I guess we're doing this now. And I have to share one of the comments that I got in a video because it was a beautiful comment where they tried to prove the earth flat, but in doing so, prove themselves wrong. It was beautiful. I always love it when they do that. That's my first. It's a pyramid scheme. The earth is a pyramid scheme. Thank you. That's my girl. Hello, husband. I love you. Yes. See, and I'm actually going to do a video on that. Because I'm going through a lot of the pseudoscience and cult stuff right now. And that video is coming up probably next month, where we're going to talk about the science behind proving ghosts. Do you know what? We should just like make a club of this. Pyramid Scheme Earth will like create a Facebook group like the flat earthers do, and then we'll just sit there and we'll make pictures of the earth shaped as a triangle and be like, the earth is a triangle pyramid scheme. Damn it, it's not round or flat. And then, you know, make it like the funny flat earth community, like how, like, you know, the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster and atheism, you know, like something like that. MLMs are sects of the Illuminati. Oh my God. Did you know that that's an actual thing? There is actual conspiracy theories on MLMs, which is another video that I'm going to be doing in a little while. I am interested. They live stream. See, there are some cults out here on YouTube. There are. I've found some. Unfortunately, we have like a whole group of like Satanists on YouTube. There's a blood cult out here. There's like a lot of weird stuff going on YouTube. So I am not that surprised actually if there's a cult that live streams every day. A lot of the cult leaders end up doing online promotions and sermons and whatnot, I guess you could call it, since a lot of them are like, you know, love has won. I will look into that one. Right now I'm covering like the main cults that we know of. Like I did Scientology. I'm diving into the Manson family and all of that fun stuff. And then I'm going to be branching into some YouTube cults that I found out about, like I said, that are kind of like the cult of being sober. Isn't that just NA, Joseph? Some people do consider NA and AA to be a cult, especially those that are non-religious. It's been kind of an issue, actually, I have to say, because I also have my background in social work. And one of the biggest things that social work has kind of like had an issue with in terms of the addiction area is the fact that religion is not as believed as it used to be. And our Narcotics Anonymous and Alcoholics Anonymous very much depend on religion. And for a lot of people, that can be a problem. I don't know if we can expect people in this world anymore in this time to take on religion to be sober. And so that might be something I'll do a video on in future. You know what I mean? Like, because that's just interesting as well. I find that an interesting thing. That Japanese cult I showed you made an anime all about the head dude, and he was like, nukes America. Do you know why? You would be surprised, like some of the propaganda that these places use, especially the religious ones, of course. And some of them are really weird. I've seen some. Mothman is a cult. Do you know what? That is a thing. The Mothman. Yeah, I don't know if I have anything else to say other than maybe it's a cult that is ripping people off for gold right now. Maybe there's some kind of weird like gold cult and they're going around trying to abduct people into their cult. Okay, maybe that's what's going on. I don't know. But I am going to keep up on this and I am going to follow their court. I want to see how this plays out because obviously I don't think anyone's really gotten charged for this before, to tell you the truth. Like, I couldn't find any other case where people have actually gotten charged and trialed and like gone to jail for this specific scam. So I feel like this might be one of the first times where the cops actually caught them and then are sending them to jail. So I kind of want to follow it. I want to see how it goes. I want to make sure that these people end up in jail because that is scary. Okay. It is scary to think that. And obviously, by the way, obviously this is, I feel like this would be targeting men more. I'm going to say it because I feel like, yeah, women too would kind of like go and help a woman in distress. But I feel like this one specifically targets men more that would maybe go and help a woman in distress. I'm sure they use like, I have a broken tire or something, you know. Subway, Jared. I don't want to get into that over here today. Hiroshima. Mm-hmm. Yep. That happened. The flat earth gold cult. Oh my God. Could you imagine? They like abduct you until you believe that the earth is flat and then they make you watch all their videos where they record them all like this. Joseph got so mad at me because I released a short video where I recorded myself like this. And he was like, stop watching the flat earth videos. You're recording yourself like them. Stop it. And I was like, dude, maybe that did happen. Like, I don't know. Because, yeah, oh my God, that would be horrifying. That would be horrifying. But there is an actual MLM conspiracy theory that does link back to the New World Order and the Illuminati. There's a few MLM conspiracy theories out there that are kind of weird, and I haven't really dove into that yet, so I'm kind of excited to also dive into that. To flatten every curve you see. Well, see, their whole thing is that you don't see the curve on the earth. So since you don't see the earth's curve when you're standing on it, that means that there isn't one. And then they'll use physics to try to say that that's how they're correct, but then they actually like disprove. It's a lot of fun. We'll get into it probably next week. I'll have another flat earth video. I'm going to try and do like one a week for the next little while because like I said, they sent me a lot. So I'm like going to use it. It's a lot of fun. I have fun with it. I do. Fifth eye lens. Yes. Oh, fish eye lens. Yes. I was like, what? Wait a minute. My computer just fucked me. Fish eye lens. Yeah. Fish eye lens. That's there's a few different ones I've heard now, by the way. There's a few different lenses that apparently that they go by now. It's very strange. You could fall off the earth. I know. I often ask them if they've ever been to the edge of the earth. I have not found one that has actually been to the edge of the earth. You would think that that would be their main mission in life. To prove the earth is flat would be to find the edge of it and take a picture. We've been doing this for decades. They still haven't done that. But we're still doing this. You know, I just find it funny because I think that communities, if you haven't noticed, my whole thing is looking at communities and why they believe the things that they believe and and why they get duped into the things they get duped into and things like that. So I just find it interesting to also look at how an entire group of people can believe something like the earth is flat, even though there's a lot of evidence to prove otherwise, but somehow they still want to follow. And in most cases, with a lot of these communities like that, it seems that it's not even about whether or not the earth is actually flat, or whether or not vaccines cause autism, or whether or not this or that or the other thing. It's just like because they want to be different. Then I'm like, so they're literally like those r/quirky girls that are like, I'm not like other girls. Like, you know, they're like, I'm not like other people. I think the earth is flat. And it's like, this is this is weird, but okay. And I find that very interesting. And then I like to dive into why that is, why people like to be different and believe things that aren't even true just to be different and find community. Because in a lot of cases, it's also about the community, which is funny because that's the whole thing with the MLMs as well, right? People join those and a lot of times to have community, which is kind of how they also got really culty. And so it's interesting to me to kind of look at a lot of these cult-like communities that have very strong views, most of them wrong. No, vaccines do not cause autism, and I will shout it from the rooftops forever. And a while ago, I did a video where we went through the study of it, and I think I'll do an updated one on it again. It's half a sphere. Do you know what that's a whole fun thing, because their whole thing is the earth is flat, but then gravity doesn't exist. So then there would be nobody living underneath the earth. Right? So then, like, Australia doesn't exist. Nowhere. Like, what exists then? It's just the USA on a slab floating through, or the whole world is torn apart. Because there's some of them that also believe that Australia doesn't exist. So then I'm like, are those the ones that believe that Australia would be underneath the earth and everyone would fall off? And that's why it doesn't exist. Is that's what's happening here? I don't know. Because it's like some of them, like, and then they mix. Have you ever seen the flat earth anti-vax people? They're fun. I like them. They're my favorite. You will never meet a young living hun that is anti-vax and believes in the flat earth. That exists. That's a thing. That's a person. I promise you. Imagine that life. It's creepy, you know? Does Chuck not know that? Oh, he's from Australia. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of the flat earth people have this like weird, there's like a whole area of the flat earthers that believe that the earth is flat. And for some reason, they don't think that, because, okay, so you have a round earth, and then technically if you were to flatten it, you would think the whole earth would then flatten out, and everybody would be on the top of it, right? Well, these people, I guess, like, this is what I mean. Even when you try to, like, explain it, or they try to explain it to me and how it would work, I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. But then they also believe that Australia would be underneath, but they don't believe in gravity, right? So then there's like a whole other subculture of them that literally thinks that the whole earth is like on the top, but then Australia just doesn't exist. Like, it just doesn't exist. It's funny because it couldn't exist, because they actually think that the whole down under comes because Australia would be down under the earth. I promise you that's why. And it makes me want to just... Because I'm like, really? That's what you think that means? That's what you think down under means? Okay, we'll just go with that. I guess that's what's right. That's a good one. But yeah, that's the thing. I love how this was like a scam thing and now we're on to flat earth. One guy told me that the earth had infinite space, but we couldn't see it because of the ice that surrounds us acting like a wall. And that is another thing where they actually believe that people see earth due to an ice magnifying glass, if you will. There's a whole, and this is what I mean. This is what drives me crazy about those communities like this, and even the anti-vax community and stuff. Because even in the anti-vax community, they have like the anti-vaxxers that are like, yes, it causes autism, and you're like, no, it doesn't. But then you have the other ones that like, no, it doesn't cause autism, but for some reason they still say that the MMR vaccine is fucking bad and that there's like toxins in it, and you're like, so it's like, can you all just get on the same fucking page? Like, if you're gonna be a bunch of rebels out here, all believe the same fucking thing. But no, they always have like subcultures of people that believe other things, and you're like, so that's where I'm at with the flat earth now, is I'm slowly going through all of the different beliefs and we're reacting to all of them because I can and I want to, and I find it funny. You just point and laugh. Freddie says, I don't even try to understand. I just point and laugh. Yeah. See, I like to try to understand why people have the views they do. It's just like something fun I like to do with my time. I'm like, why do these people believe this? Let me go look into that. And then I'm like in a rabbit hole for 5 hours. But it makes me a great content creator, I guess. So there's that. The conveyor belt earth. Yes, always get your children vaccinated. I am very pro-vax. And I'm pro-vax even in the sense that I even understand why people, though, are worried about this COVID one. Because a lot of people were like, it took too short of a time to come out. And, there are some decent worries with that. And I did a video on that too, actually, where I talked about how, yeah, people do have some decent, worries about it. But then you have to address those in an intelligent way and not just be like, so become anti-vax, and that's kind of what the anti-vax community was kind of taking that opportunity to be like, so come become anti-vax with us. And I was like, no, we're not doing this. I'm going to talk about this right now. So yeah, that's what's coming up on the channel, I guess, in future. That's what I'll be doing. We're going to be talking about witchcraft. I actually have a friend of mine that practices, and I'm going to be doing an interview with her hopefully in the next couple weeks. And I find that interesting because I want to learn. I want to learn some things. I'm waiting until they refine the vaccine a little. Yeah, see, and I did a video on that where I actually went through the worries as someone with a brain who isn't just anti-vax, because people like Modern Alternative Mama out here and some of these anti-vax people, like I said, were kind of taking people's decent worries. Like, I can't blame people for being like, listen, this came out way too quickly. I want to make sure it's okay. I can't really blame people for that. I just make sure that your end goal is to get the vaccine so that we can all do well in our world. And maybe one day soon, I will also dive into the wonderful conspiracy theories around that vaccine, because boy, have there ever been some. And I watched a documentary recently of a guy that claimed that he came from 2030. And it's taking everything in my power to not react to that right now. Because I kind of want to do a video on that too. I'm like, the fuck is this? Because that's what I like to do out here. I like to talk about stuff like that. That's what's fun for me. I practice some black magic. Black magic. Is that evil magic? Should I be scared? Scared. There's also some tarot card scammers and stuff going on right now too. So I'm probably going to also be bringing that up, by the way, in case anyone's wondering. Because that's been a new thing. Yeah, you had COVID. Yeah, Joseph had COVID. I had a lot of friends that got COVID, and I hear it is absolutely awful so far. I've been okay. My husband's been okay. My daughter's been okay. Hopefully it stays that way. But we're following all this stuff, and yeah. See, tarot cards, I did a video on. Tarot cards can be great fun as long as you're only doing it for fun. Where I have an issue with tarot cards is if people are asking for money to give future readings. Because then you're running a scam. Then I have to be like, hey, this is a scam, because that's what I do on here, you know. So then you have me calling you a scammer. You just don't want that. But if you are just having fun with your friends and you want to read tarot cards, or you want to watch people just doing tarot cards or whatever, go at it. Whatever makes you happy, as long as it doesn't hurt anyone, have fun. I'm never talking about these things to like disprove them in the way where I want all of the people who do them to get canceled or anything like that. It's just interesting for me to look at why people believe what they believe. And my whole thing with the tarot cards is that it actually started out as a card game. You know, since my name is Queen of Spade and I am a card, I got to talk about tarot cards and how they're actually for more fun, and we're a playing card game. And yeah, party tricks, things like that, then it is to actually tell people's fortune, which is kind of what it's been turned into. And then, like I said, people scam people with that. And that's when I have to be like, okay, I don't like that. But I mean, if you're just doing it for fun, go for it. Just don't pretend like you have some magic powers that you don't have, because then again, I might have to call you on that and be like, listen, but you're not completely magic. Because even most of my friends that like practice witchcraft, they do it in a pagan or a Wiccan way, and I don't like, they don't actually think that they're full on like casting spells and stuff, which is kind of why I want to talk about it and do some research into the actual like religions behind it, like pagan, Wiccan, all that kind of stuff, because that's more interesting to me than just talking about witchcraft as a whole. But I also want to talk about the history of it, because the Salem witch trials are interesting. It's an interesting time to look at. And I thought that it would be interesting to kind of dive into that whole thing. And that's coming out very soon, actually. I am just putting that one together now. So that's what's coming up. We got some witchcraft stuff coming out. I'm probably going to be talking about some some tarot card scams. Say that 10 times fast. We're going to be doing a lot more scams. Every Saturday, I'm going to try and do a stream about a scam. I'm not going to try. I will be able to. There's scams all over the fucking place. I'm never out of content. It's sad but good at the same time. It's good for my content. It's sad for the victims of the scams. But yeah, I have the Salem witch trials. I feel like if you are going to talk about witchcraft, you really do have to talk about the actual whole history of it and everything that went on with it. Otherwise, you're just kind of doing like oh, I know, Freddie. I know, don't worry, we'll talk all about that. But yeah, see, that's the thing, is that we got to look into those things, but we have to look into them and the history with them too. If you're not looking into the history of it as well, I feel like we're just randomly talking about witchcraft and its practice and that doesn't help spread education or awareness about anything in any positive way, shape, or form. And I like to try to be a little bit more positive. Even if I'm talking about scams and stuff, I try to make it more fun than depressing and things like that. I try to add some comedy too and whatnot because it can get dark. Over here, it can be dark sometimes, you know, when we're talking about cults, when we're talking about pseudoscience. And I usually do those ones in more of a documentary style. And then my MLM and scam stuff is more just me chilling and talking like I am right now. But it's because those videos have to be much more researched and put together, because those are my real, like, we're spreading some real education and awareness videos other than like the anti-MLM videos, you know? These ones are just like, let me tell you about this scam that's going on. This is how you protect yourself. All right, go team, you know? So I'm going to end this here because I've been on for way too long. And yeah, I feel like we've had a really great talk. We definitely talked about that scam. Like I said, I'll be keeping tabs on it. We'll see what happens with them. We'll see what they get charged with. We'll see what they get sentenced with. Hopefully they get sentenced, because Jesus Christ, imagine abduction. That's insane. So I'm going to be doing that. And, you know, in the meantime, try to be cool. Don't get into any drama. I am completely out of drama. I haven't been paying attention to most of the drama anyway. But I'm completely out of drama, so don't get pulled up in drama. There's even our anti-MLM drama, for some reason, is like resurfacing again. I do hear that Kim and Madison have made up, and that's all I'm going to say about that, because I don't feel like we should have to keep covering that, because I hate drama, and there's just no point to like covering the Kim stuff or covering them. But just know that the two of them have made up, and apparently people are starting to cover this all again. I know that most of my subs get really sick of drama. They hate it. They only care about my drama sometimes, because they're like, we watch Queen, so we'll hear her ramble about hers. But other than that, they really don't like the drama that happens. So, you know, again, just go on your way. Don't pay attention to it. If it's something that bothers you, don't get back into it. But basically, in my mind, that's all over, because they have made up and everything is good. So that's just Danny. Madison and Blair made up. Madison and Kim made up. Everybody made up. Everybody's good. Everyone can move on. I am not watching Emily Leah. I don't care. I support her in her return. And that's all I'll say on that. I support anybody that wants to spread awareness about pyramid schemes or scams. It is not for me to say who should and should not do that. I do not like to gatekeep here. So that being said, because I also wanted to throw that in, because again, that's been surfacing again. And I've had some people kind of come to me and be like, oh, there's some more drama videos about Kim being made, and I don't even want to watch them. And I'm like, then don't. You don't have to. That's the beauty, is that you don't have to pay attention to any of that. I have not been. So. And no matter where you are, what you're doing, I hope that you have a fabulous, fabulous night. Take care. And I am going to see you for sure in a video for Friday and on a live stream on Saturday. But I'm probably not going to be on tomorrow because my ass wants to take a break. Bye, guys. Have a good night. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I really appreciate it. And thank you, Johnny, for modding my chat and kicking out people. And I'm very sorry, Colton, for that. That was not cool. And I don't in any way, shape, or form support what was happening there. And I'm just live streaming and my mods are busy. So have a good night, guys. Bye.